Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining. You're here for today's demonstration of the Geonexus integration platform, configuring Esri and HxGN EAM integration. My name's Katie Majewski, and I'm a marketing coordinator here at Geonexus, and I'm happy to be joined by Josh Swenson, VP of Revenue Operations, who I've brought in to help answer some of the questions you may be having after the end of the demonstration today. In recent conversations and live events, we've had requests to show off the platform more, so we're going to have our main focus be on a recorded demonstration showing how the Geonexus integration platform will help you synchronize your data from GIS into HxGN EAM. Before we dive into the demonstration, we always like to set a quick foundation of who we are for those of you who may not be familiar or are new to the call. All right, so Geonexus is a software company, and really our main focus is on the simplification of integration. So Geonexus redefines the traditional custom code approach to integration by providing a fully supported, easy-to-use, proven platform for system integration that not only simplifies the configuration, but management of your integration throughout its entire lifetime. And we do this all through a low-code, no-code approach. This allows integration to then become more of a mapping than a coding exercise for end users, and allows organizations true flexibility in planning for future integrations as well. So there's really 3 steps to the Geonexus integration platform. The first is configuration, which we'll show in the demonstration. And then the second is automation. So once your configuration is complete, this is really where the magic happens. You can see this in our 3 core competencies on the icons on the screen above. The first is simplified configuration. So we provide an easy to navigate user interface to streamline configuration setup and management of the integration, again, throughout its entire lifetime. The second is automated synchronization. So once your configuration is complete, we help you automate your processes by allowing you to schedule your synchronization on a specified basis. Whether it be nightly, weekly, etc. And we can also do this bi-directionally as well if you'd like. The last is active reporting. So once you've configured everything in your and you have your synchronization running, we provide in-depth reports to help you see exactly what is happening within the integration. We provide 2 different types of reports to help you get a view of your data within the synchronization. The first is error and discrepancy reporting, providing a granular level of detail of what errors, orphans, or discrepancies may have occurred. And then the second is a full synchronization report to show that everything has run as intended. And we'll show you both of these reports within the demonstration. So how we simplify integration even further is through our pre-built library of connectors you can see on the screen below. Each one of these connectors understands the unique business logic of each system and are constantly upgraded to allow you to take advantage of the latest and greatest system features with no fears of version lock or downtime. So some customer examples can be found here, all of which have customer case studies that can be found on our website and will be linked within the slides in our follow-up email as well. So if you want to look at those, you can click on those directly from the PDF. So now that we've heard a little bit about Geonexus, we'll get into the demonstration.
Thank you for a quick overview. So I'm going to show a quick demonstration of how Geonexus integration platform will help you synchronize your data. So here we have a placeholder to configure our connections. Today for the demo, I'm using a geodatabase connection from Esri. So all you need is the geodatabase connection information in order to connect to the geodatabase. So just like ArcMap, you would need an instance, database, user, password. We can also write to different versions. We support versioning, so you can choose the version that you want to write to. once you're done with configuring the connection, you can validate. It'll tell you if any of your credentials are not right. Um, Once it's all good, it'll give you a validation success message, just like we saw. We do have different flavors of Esri connection. So for this demo, we are using geodatabase connection, but we do support different flavors connecting to enterprise, online, or services all through ArcGIS REST services. We also have a support for ArcGIS SQL Workspace, which is like a read-only connection for any of the database connections through Esri. So these are the different flavors of Esri connections we support. Um, Moving on to the hexagon. In order to connect to a hexagon system, all you need is a service URL, username, and password. We do support multi-tenant, so if your system is configured to use tenants, we can specify the tenant here. Similarly, we have a validate option, which will help you validate your connectivity. Um, it's all good here. And then we do have a little info panel. This gives you an overview of your existing Hexagon system. What is it based off of? What is the application server it's on? What's the underlying database, schema, and all of that? So you can have a quick view of that here. Um, for our synchronization, we have data sets as our logical representations or containers. So these are the different data sets that I have. So first use case today, we are going to look into is creating a hydrant from Esri and bringing it over to our hexagon. Um, so for that configuration, we have Esri data source. For this geodatabase data source, I do have the database, the owner, the table that I'm configuring to, and a unique identifier, which we'll be looking into to pull the information. You can also apply a where clause if you want to filter a subset of records. So it'll help you filter any certain records depending upon your status or a field that is active life cycle or any other categorization if you want to make within a table or a feature class. You can do that here. Um, so I'm going to use a hydrant feature class, and we are going to see how we'll bring over a newly created hydrant from GIS to Hexagon. Moving to Hexagon data source. For Hexagon, we use data spies. Data spies are more like a filter, which will help you view the data between the functions. So all you need is configure the function. Once you have the function, you can filter your data using a data spy. So these drop downs will list all the custom data spies and also the data spies that are out of box by Hexagon. So the data that you want to synchronize with from the Hexagon side would be mainly viewed from the data spy for GIP here. Um, Moving on to the rules. Um, for the synchronization rules, this is more like a mapping. So one-to-one mapping between the GIS, which is our source, to the target hexagon. So here we have different options to configure it. So we can pick a source here. So for our demonstration today, the source is GIS, that is Esri hydrant. So we can pick that. And then we have different options to configure from. A couple of them that I have here, defaults are more like a mandatory value that you want to pass, which may not be in your end system. And then fields are all the fields that are in your table, so you can pick them. I'll show them shortly. You do also have capabilities to synchronize between if you have any connected records, if you have any related tables in Esri, any of the shape fields, you have the ability to synchronize all of them. So when you pick the field, you can see that all the fields in our table are listed here. All you do is you pick the one that you want to synchronize and go over to the hexagon side, and then you can pick which you want to map it with. So here you can see the label and the name. So one represents the database name, and other is the label from the user interface. So this is how you would configure your mappings in when you're going from any system. So this is what I have for creation of hydrants. So what we are going to see is we are going to create a new hydrant into Hexagon with these fields in. Like you can see, we can also write to a user-defined field or a custom field in Hexagon. So I would be taking the bonnet color from the Esri field to a user-defined field. So now I would like to quickly show you the hydrant that's in ArcMap. Um, so I did create a hydrant, which we are going to try and sync over to Hexagon today. So this is a water hydrant. So if you can see, the bonnet color is red, which we have for synchronization. The key field that I had in there was equipnum tag, which is DHYD 00005. So we are going to bring this hydrant over to Hexagon. So next, I wanted to show the data in Hexagon. So for the demo, we are going to look into the demo installed hydrants. That's a data spy that I have. I'm just going to refresh it. Just to show we do not have the one that we are trying to sync. Um, I'm going to go back to GIP. So there are different ways to start the synchronization in GIP. One is from the user interface. You can click the start button, and this is like a console screen. It'll show you all the steps as it is doing the synchronization. So it'll tell you, okay, now I'm loading the configuration. I'm doing the validation of the configuration. I'm doing extraction, creation, updates, and all of that. You can see it as it's going through. And once it's all been configured and all good, we've verified, most of our customers would like to run it on a schedule basis. So depending upon how critical their data is, they would run it every 15 minutes to nightly or once a week. So you can have it to run on a schedule. Also, I would like to point out some of the features, like we have valueless calculated values. Those are more for data transformation. So we do understand that systems can have domain packed list. Say if you have a different set of domains in Esri that you want to translate to Hexagon, you can use our cool feature of valueless, which will help you do that translation. And we do have calculated values. If you want to combine a certain set of data, do any transformation of strings or numbers, you can do it using those. So like you can see here, we did extract the hydrants from both the sides. We did create one new hydrant. Um, so once this is all done, we do also get a nice report. We can take a quick look at that. So this is more like your summary of whatever happened in the synchronization. It has record of everything, like how many records were extracted. If there was any errors, it would be listed here with all the details and descriptions. And then it'll show you if there were any creates. So like you can see here, we did have one create, and this is the information that got bought over. So it'll show you all the information from your source side and your target. And then it'll show you the value that was bought over. We do have some nice features to show discrepancies, any orphans in the system. So like you can see, this is an orphan on the HxGN side. So it's only on the HxGN, not on the GIS side. So you can see if there's any discrepancies that way, any orphans in either of the systems. So I can quickly go to HxGN system now and show you the record that was created. It's right here. So I'm just gonna refresh the view. And you can see our new record is here. Like you can see the new asset, water hydrant. In our custom field, we have the bonnet color brought over to red. So I'm just going to edit it. Say someone sees it isn't red and changes it to yellow. I'm going to make that change in HxGN, and we'll run our configuration. I'll walk you through it now, and then we'll see the data brought over from HxGN to our Esri GIS. So now that it's all saved, let's go back to here. I'm going to disable this data set, enable this one. You can have all of them enabled and synchronize one after the other just to show the flow. I did them one at a time, but you can have them run in sequence. So if we go back to the data sources, so here I'm trying to show you the data coming back from HxGN to GIS. So if you look at our data sources, the configuration is the same feature class, and the same data spy we are looking at. In the updated rules, I just have a simple configuration of the source user-defined field coming back to the bonnet color in our Esri hydrants feature class. So I'll go ahead and start the synchronization. So if you can see here, you do see there was an update changed. Here we can quickly look at the reports. So again, the final status report is similar to the console view that we are seeing. We can jump to the updates, and here you can see the new value is yellow and the old value is red. This is one of the features most of our customers like because it not only tells you there was a change, but also shows you what was the older value and what is the new value it changed to. So that's something a lot of our customers like, and it's visually nice to see what it changed from. I can quickly go back to Esri just to refresh the data. I'm going to start an edit session. So if you see here, the bonnet color is yellow now for the hydrant we were looking at. It was previously red. Now it's changed to yellow. So that was the workflow that I wanted to show. Thank you.
All right. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions now. And again, just a reminder, I brought in Josh to help me answer some of the questions. So welcome, Josh.
Hey, thanks, Katie.
this open for a minute here and let some people type in their questions. Again, there should be a Q&A panel on the right-hand side of your user interface where you can go ahead and type those in.
Yeah, if you're more comfortable, sending questions, if you'd like to see more of this, I think Aksha, did a great job of kind of showing how this works, and this is a very kind of high level demo that we're showing around configuration and different steps within the platform. But one of the things that we like to do is to really connect with folks that have a specific use case that they're looking at, a specific integration challenge that they're looking to solve, and we're happy to sit with you and set up a demo and show you how the platform can work for your specific use case. So feel free to reach out to either myself or Katie, and we can definitely get that set up. There was a question about working with EAM on SaaS. Yes. So I don't know exactly what, I'd have to look back at exactly what Akshay was showing there, but in terms of the question around whether it will work with that, Mark, I think, is who asked the question. Yes. So Geonexus is a solution that is installed in an application server in your environment. So it's an on-prem solution, and that's for Geonexus as the middleware. But in terms of the systems that it's connecting, we can kind of handle all shapes and sizes. So if yours are in the cloud, if your solutions are in the cloud, or if you have one that's on-prem and one that's in the cloud, we can help support those as well. Other questions that are coming in. Is it possible to integrate fields in a HxGN checklist to update an Esri field, or is it only the asset screen? Have to dig into that a little bit, Kyle. I believe it's possible, but I don't want to give you an answer without 100% accuracy. So let me take that one away, and we can come back to you. We have your information, so we'll email you back with an answer to that. There's a question about how does this differ from GIS tools for syncing from HxGN. I think we're referring to HxGN Toolbar. Some of the ways, and there's another one that's along the same line, advantage of this platform versus HxGN GIS Sync Toolbar. I think the main way that we've heard through several conversations, so we have quite a few people that have come over, a few customers that have come over that have been using the HxGN Toolbar and are interested in exploring another option. I think one of the ways is just customization. So we did a webinar in this last week, I think, where we talked about native connectors, right? I would consider HxGN Toolbar a native connector, where if you have a very simplified integration need, oftentimes these kind of add-on or native integration tools can help you in that area. As you start to get more complex in your integration needs, or need more customization for your specific workflow, that's where a more robust tool is needed. So that's one thing. Other things that we laid out in there that we found are kind of a difference between the Geonexus integration platform and some of the native connectors, again, Toolbar in that category, are things like the ability to run an integration in preview mode, which you can do in the Geonexus integration platform, and then see how the integration has kind of played out, make changes before committing that to production and having to do rework. Another big thing is reporting. So Akshay in that demo showed some of the reporting that we provide. One of the things that we've heard in about every conversation that we've had around native toolbars is just, that there's not really an understanding when you're using those to really understand how the integration is working until it's not working, right? Or if you're troubleshooting a problem, there's not, any proactive reporting that you can look to help figure out what's gone wrong. And that's a big thing that I think Geonexus offers that's an advantage over some of the native connectors like HxGN's Toolbar, quite frankly. And then there's a couple questions on can you sync a GIS object to a system in EAM? Yes, I believe that's correct. But have to dig a little further into the context there. And then will you get a link of the recording of the webinar? For sure. Yeah, so we can send this out and provide this to the group. And yeah, so there's a question about the reporting and what you can do. You can export the reporting. So it's a PDF. It comes to you as a PDF. There are ways to both export this to move it, to view it in a different format, or there are ways to export this and move it to different tools, whether they're BI tools or monitoring tools. There are different ways that we can kind of configure the reports for you or train you on how to configure the reports so that it can work within the different systems you have or the different workflows you have. So some really good questions. Are there any other ones? I know we have a couple of minutes left here. Again, as you're putting in those final questions, the one thing that I would say here is, if you want to connect on your specific use case, we'd love to do so. Our real goal, as Katie stated at the top of this demo, is to kind of show off the platform live. I think a lot of folks want to see the platform in action and kind of think about how it applies to their specific use case or their specific needs. And so we want to give you the ability to do that. But then where there's the opportunity to kind of follow up and have a conversation about your specific needs, we'd love to do that. So please feel free to reach out to us. I think Katie will share some information here in a second on how you can get in touch with us. And then maybe last question before we do that, what is the cost to implement? So, Jamie, we can talk about that. Really the breakdown is that there's kind of two pieces around costing. One is just the software license. So that's based on the number of records. We can share that as we know more about each specific use case, but it's based on the number of records that you're synchronizing, not the total number of records in the system, but you think about the number of records in Esri and then the number of records on the other side in your EAM. There's a kind of a tiered software licensing breakdown based on that. And then the other is dependent on what type of professional services you need, right? We have a great professional services team here at Geonexus that is available to help with, any type of implementation configuration needs around the integration. But our real goal is to train you on how to use the platform. The real value of the Geonexus integration platform is to provide you with a tool that gives you the ability to manage, set up and manage integrations. Right. Typically, we start out with some type of professional service engagement that includes configuration of a first use case and training on the platform. And then the hope is the organization is off and running and able to use the Geonexus integration platform to kind of solve integration needs on their own. That said, we have a whole professional service team and support team that's there to support with any level of need. Right. So that's that. Yeah, and so I'll end there just in the interest of time. Katie, I'll let you say thank you if you'd like to, but Katie has shared my information here. Please feel free to reach out to me if there are any questions you have. We'd love to talk to you and kind of show you more about how we might be able to help with your integration needs.
Yeah, thanks so much everyone for joining. And again, this will be recorded and provided after as well. So keep an eye out for that. And thanks again for joining and for your help, Josh. Appreciate it.
Happy to do that. Thank you all for joining.